Then I will also share my screen. And then you can see my screen. Go visible. Visible? Okay. Zoom in a bit. And tutaenda kwa note school. School.io. So they're just a series of challenges. They go through regular expressions. So we have a bunch of them. Tuko na JavaScripting, we have learn new node, we have one for npm, one for streams. This is node. Then we have markdown, we have html. What we want, you can see we also have one for functional JavaScript. What we want is the one for regular expressions. This one. So you can go to website and Node School, then you can just follow these instructions here. So if I open my folder, I go into Node School. Then I run this command npm install npm install -g. The reason we are doing -g is so that we have the regex command available in our entire computer, so that you can come up a terminal and simply say regex adventure, and then that command is available to your whole application, your whole OS. Basically, you can run the regex adventure anywhere. Then the package might have some inaweza kuwa na some issues because it's a package ya kitambo. So let's just install it. Okay, I need to inakata because I need to start VS Code as an admin, which inakata. So just come here. Then if you have kama kwa Linux, you have to run this command na sudo ndio iweze kuinstall as in the global. So I will remove this. Nifunge yote. Anyway, sorry, Chrome ndio imejifunga. Then okay, let me share my screen again. Share my screen. Mambo, niaje? I had not seen you had joined. Uko poa?
I'm good.
Okay. you can see my screen. I hope it's visible.
Yeah, it's up.
So I will I simply have a node school folder here. I will cd into that folder. What's going on? What is going on with my terminal? cd node school, because I want to be in this folder, and then I want to install that package globally. This package, Regex Adventure. So I'll just take this, then I will paste it in. Okay. So you can see they have some vulnerabilities because it's a kitambo. But like once you're done with the challenges, you can remove it. Another alternative is using npx. But shida npx is every time you want to verify your solution, you'll have to run the whole command again. So now I have installed the Regex Adventure package globally. So now if I just go into this repository, you can see if you want to run the workshop, you simply type Regex Adventure in your terminal. So I've already installed the package globally. Now I can simply say regex-adventure. You can see I have a list of challenges. So you guys try it on your end. You'll tell me if you run into any issues before we continue. So the link to the workshop here. If you're on Linux, you need to run it with sudo, the sudo command. So you can see, go to Node School, or you go directly to the GitHub repository. And then so you see if you have Linux, you run sudo npm install. If you don't have, if you're running on Windows, make sure you have admin privileges, so that when you're trying to run the command for the terminal, itakuletea issues za permissions. So try to install the package. Then once you have the package installed, if you simply run regex-adventure in the terminal, mtu amemanage kuinstall. Is there anyone who is stuck? Regex Adventure. Then if you go for the first one, just press enter on the first challenge, so that you can start in the what you need to do. You see, for your first adventure, create a new file that will receive a string as an argument, then should return whether the string contains another string equally. So here's a template that you can use. So the file that we need to create needs to have this template. So module.export is equal to the string that we are receiving, and then the functionality pattern. So don't worry about this syntax. This is what Node.js supports out of the box for a long time. But nowadays we have options that can import. But I don't think whether this package supports import. So we just delete this for now, and then I'll show you what I mean. So I am in Java. I'll delete this file, and I'll go into why is the resource easy. Has anyone managed to install it? Is there anyone who is having issues installing the package? Open again. Daniel, have you managed to install the workshop?
Nimemanage.
Umemanage pia
Yes.
kufungua the first question.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you worked on it already? Ama bado?
Bado. I'm trying to work on it right now.
Okay. So anybody else who has managed to install the package?
Yeah, mine is okay.
Yours is okay as well. So if we look at the instructions, they're saying for our first adventure, create a new file that will receive a string as an argument and should return whether the string contains another string. So they're simply telling us, I will create mine within this folder and I will name it 01.js. And then they're giving us a template. So our file needs to have this code. So I'll just take this, paste it in here. So this is the template we need to use for all our files. And then now the functionality that we need to write should be within the body of the function. Okay. So to test for the presence of the string literally, you can use a regular expression. So regular expressions begin with a slash and end with another slash. So you can see we walked through this already last week. So nothing new here. So regular expressions have a number of methods, but there is a method called test that accepts a string as an argument to test against. Add test to the end of the regex to run a test on a regex. So they've given us an example. So wow.test, then you're testing for the string. So amaze, wow, search, doggy, and then returns true or false. Then to verify your solution, you run the regex adventure command with the verify flag and then with the file name that you want to verify. In our case, it's going to be 01.js. But first, we need to write the functionality here. So the question is asking, we need to test whether the string that was passed in here has the pattern literally, exactly the way they wameiandika hapa, literally. We need to check for literally. Has anyone figured it out yet? The functionality just up and down. What do we need to do? Anyone with an idea of what we need to do here? What do we need to write here? You can use this as your guide. Okay, remember our pattern, what our pattern is. So return whether string contains the string literally. So our pattern is literally, this is our regex. And we need to return whether this string that will get passed in will contain that pattern. So how do we test for that? Anyone?
can use the match method ya string.
Match, okay. So what does match return? If you remember, we can use the match, but let's look at the question. They're telling us but that we need to use a very particular method. They're giving us the instructions right here. Add the .test to the end of the regex to run a test on a regex. So we need to use test. We can use match, but the question wants us to use test, the test method. So how can you rethink that, Nelson? But you're on the right track.
I think you can put the word literally. You can create a regular expression using the slashes. You put literally inside the 2 slashes, then .test. We return that value.
What are we testing?
We are testing now the string that has been passed into the function.
And then we return.
Then we return that. Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have a differing opinion, a different opinion? Okay. So now they're telling us if you want to verify your solution, you simply need to run. Close this. You simply need to run regex adventure because we already installed this package globally, and then verify, and then the name of your file. So in this case, I simply want to cd into my noteschool again because I want to run this in a different terminal. And then I want to say regex -adventure verify 01.js. And you can see we passed the test. So that is the that's how the tests are, that's how they look like. That's how you verify, that's how you write the tests, and so forth. So we finished the first one. If you want to see the menu again, then you have to run regex adventure again. So we go to the second one, anchor start, and then same process, read through the question. So this time your regex should match only when the given string begins with literally. Again, you use the same template, but this time we want a new file here called 02.js. Paste in the template, and then we now need our functionality up and down. So the question is saying that now our literally needs to be at the beginning of the string. So we'll still use the test method, but now how do we check for that? Anyone? The instructions will give you like as much information as possible. So use the caret character, this caret symbol, to anchor on the beginning of a piece of text. So remember from the previous adventure that regexes in JavaScript are between 2 slashes. And then to verify, same process when you're verifying. So the difference between this one and the other one is, in this case, our literally needs to be at the beginning of the string. Who wants to give it a try? Jaribuni, jaribuni. There's no. Someone saying something.
Yeah, so
I think that's mambo.
unanisikia vizuri sasa?
Yeah,
so I was thinking maybe we'd have the same thing as we had in 01.js where we return
Mhm.
And then we're going to start off our regex.
Mhm.
Put start off with the hat so that we can specify that it's supposed to be the beginning. Then put in the pattern literally and cut. Yeah, let's test. Test the string.
And there's a weird
echo.
and
Okay, let me fix that.
so does anybody have a differing opinion to this? So what we are doing is we are checking whether the string that we get passed down is starting with the literally pattern, because this is a pattern or a word. We are checking whether it starts with literally, and then we are testing. Are we all in agreement? I think we are. So let's verify that solution. We now want to verify 02. Correct. And then here's the solution, exactly like ours. So that's fine. Okay. Anybody who is lost? Anybody who can't run the workshop?
Hi.
Hi.
I was asking after installing, like, what other thing do you run next?
After you install the package, you just need to run regex admin in the terminal. If we do, we just run regex adventure EV2, just the text regex adventure, and then you press enter to give you the menu. Yeah. Okay. So that is it for our second solution. So let's try the next one. Again, regex adventure. Let's go to anchor and let's go through that question. So this time your regex should match only when the given string ends with bananas. So you can come here, create 03.js, take the template. Then now our functionality needs to be within the body of the function. So this time we need to use the dollar character to anchor on the end of a piece of text. So the other one was begins with literally, but this time we want to test whether the string ends with bananas in capital. Okay, anyone who has figured it out already? Anyone who's seen the solution? How do we pass that test?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can put the word bananas inside the regular expression.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the end,
Mm-hmm.
put the dollar sign.
Mm-hmm.
Then dot test the string. Then that's the value you return.
Anyone with another opinion? Okay, let's test our solution. This time we want to test for 03. Yes. So we are passing, so we are checking whether the string has is ending with bananas, whether we are matching that test where we have a sentence that has the word bananas at the end. Hence the anchor tag, the dollar sign that checks whether it's ending with bananas. The other one was starting with, which was the heart symbol or the carrot. But this time we are trying to test whether it ends with bananas. Okay. Eunice, did you manage to open the menu?
No, it has given me some errors. Let me check.
So you can look at it like you can just concentrate on the class, and then we'll try to figure it out afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So any questions up to that point? Okay, so we've done 1, 2, and 3. We now want to do 4. So again, if you want to see the menu again, you just run Regex Adventure, shows up the menu, and then you go to character class. So again, we can create a new file for this one, 04.js. Then we can take the template, put it in, and then we can go through the question. So write a module that returns true only when the input string starts with a lowercase vowel or a digit. So the question is, write a module that returns true only when the input string starts with a lowercase vowel or a digit. Okay, so we have taken the template, and then for this adventure, they're telling us to use a character class anchored to the start of the input. And then they explain what character classes are. We looked at the square brackets when you want to define a range. And then each character between the brackets is a valid potential match for input. So for example, if you have A, B, C, D, E, X, Y, Z in the character class, it will match A, B, C, D all the way to Z, but just including whatever is in the character class. Sequential ranges can appear in character classes separated by a dash. So A, B, C, D, E, X, Y, Z can be shortened to read A to E, then X, Y, Z, or A to E, and then E to X. So these two, because we have EF, basically E and X, and then Z. So A, and then A, including B, because B, C, and D are between A and E, right? And then EX, and then X all the way to Z, because Y is in between X and Z. That's why it's written this way. So we need to write a pattern that matches lowercase vowels or a digit. Who has an idea of how we can figure that out? Anyone? Or we can even start figure out one part of the solution. So we can start with, how do we write a pattern for for lowercase vowels? Anyone with an idea?
You can start by writing the return the keyword, then open the regex. Inside we can use the square brackets. Then we want one that returns true only when the input string starts with a vowel, a lowercase vowel. So you can write all the vowels in lowercase, a, e, I, o, u, or a digit. So you can put the /d. Then .test string. Yeah, that way.
Okay. Anyone with thank you, Evans. Anyone with a differing opinion or anyone who thinks we need to change anything?
We need to include the hat.
Okay. Where do we put it?
We put it just outside the opening square bracket to show that it has to begin with the character classes.
Okay. Okay. Anything else we need to add?
I'm not sure about the /d, but I think it would work.
So
I
let's
would
try.
maybe.
You have maybe. What would you have done?
So the /d, I would have put 0 to 9.
Okay.
Just after the IAO, but I think it's the same for them.
Okay, let's test and see. So we want to test 04 JS. Fingers crossed it works. It works. Let's also try Mambo's implementation. Instead of /d, let's try 0 to 9. Sorry. Still works. So both work. So 0 to 9 works and /d also works because now that means all the digits. So again, 0 to 9. So very nicely done. Okay. I see you guys mulielewa regex kabisa. See, so let's continue. Let's go to the next one. Is anyone lost? Anybody who wants some clarification on anything? Anyone who's joined late and they need us to explain what's going on? What is all this in the console? Kuna mtu amesema anything kwa chat? Because you know I can't normally see any the chat nikiwa hapa. So I'll assume that's a no. So we've done the first, the second, the third, and the fourth. So let's do the fifth challenge. So again, you run regex adventure. We now want to go to negated character class. So again, same process. Let's create a new file, 05.js. Then let's take the template, paste it in. Then let's read the question. So write a module that returns true only when the first character is not a digit and the second character is not a capital letter. Okay, let's go through the rest of. Negating a character class makes it match the opposite character. So to negate a character class, include the heart symbol as the first character inside the square brackets. Okay, so you won't need this right now, but there are some handy shortcuts for character classes. So we have already seen from Evans, solution here, Evans, you can use this to target any digit. You can use this to target any word. This is actually alphanumeric because this also includes 0 to 9. And then this includes white spaces. So that includes tab, backspace, carriage return, and then capitalize the shortcut. So when you have the capitalized version of this, it's the opposite sasa. You're negating. So not a digit, not a word character, not white space. There is a special character class, the dot, that matches any character except for new lines under some conditions. We already looked at this period and how we can use it to match anything. So let's go back to the question. So the question is asking, the first character is not a digit, and then the second character is not a capital letter. Okay, so the first character is not a digit. So how would we solve that? What would we write first? So we can try to first of all solve that first part. The first character is not a digit. Has anyone seen what we need to do? Let's try to solve that first part. The first character is not a digit. First character is not a digit.
I think you can have like the regular expression or return then the regular expression. Then have square brackets.
So we put the first part first, then the square brackets.
Then have the backslash, then capital D.
Okay. So
Write the small d.
Small d. So we replace this with the small d. Okay. So small d. Okay. So Eunice is saying we start off that way. Does anyone want to help out on the second part or anything about the first part that Eunice has provided for us? So we are now testing for the first character. Has anyone see what we need to do? Take a guess. First of all, is this correct, what we have here? Because essentially we are saying starts with, and then we have the character class.
The hearts should be inside the braces.
The heart symbol.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should have two. One outside to show the start and one inside to negate that character class.
Okay. So we'll go with those solutions. So that's a combination of both. So one outside and then one inside.
And then we open up another character class for the second digit. For the second character. It's not a capital letter. So we can start off with the heart to negate the class. And then capital A to capital Z. Then test string. Fingers crossed it works.
Okay, can you explain to us what it's doing? What is our pattern doing? Let's start from this side. What is this doing?
Yeah, so that part, the first hat, it shows the beginning of the string. And then we go into the first digit, the first character, where we have given it a class of not a number. That's why we have the hat, and then stroke D. Stroke D represents all numbers, and then the hat negates it.
Okay. Then this section here.
For the second part, we are going to check for capital A to Z, and then we are negating it. So it's not supposed to have any capital letters as this character.
Okay, as the second
For it
character.
to return, for it to return true.
Okay. Okay. Anybody with a different solution? But let's try it first before we can. So I'll go into this, and then I will run regex to 5 passes. So correct. Any other solution we can try that can also work?
I think on the digit part, where we have is it a hat?
The hat symbol.
Yes, instead of using that with a slash small d, I think on the notes we have used like slash capital D, which symbolizes not a number.
Okay, so we remove the hat symbol.
Yes.
We remove the hat symbol and then capital D. Okay, let's see. Yes, it still works. Because we are essentially saying the first digit should not be a number. Now we are using the opposite of the meta character /D. So that also works. Very nicely done. Okay. Anybody with a question?
I wanted to ask, what if we replaced with the A to Z with small a to small z, then eliminate the character?
Then eliminate the. So walk me through it.
Network.
What do you do? What do you want us to do here? It's this section, right?
Remove even the hat,
Even the hat.
And A to Z smalls. To indicate that they should not be capital, they should be small. A network.
So we negate it.
No, like use it that way. Like it's like the opposite of saying not capital. You can test and see if it works.
Okay. Did not pass.
Doesn't.
Why were you? What is your thinking process here?
I thought like saying not capital letter is the same as saying small letters. So like A to Z. When we used capital letters, we used a hat to negate. So instead of negating, I thought we could use small letters, but yeah, it doesn't seem to work.
Yeah.
Like the way we had used not, we had used slash small d with a hat.
Yeah.
It worked. So I thought it would work also here.
Yeah.
What if you have the hat symbol like right after the first closing square bracket?
We have the hat symbol here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check what the question was asking. So the second character is not a capital letter. So what are we doing here? But let's check first of all. Let's do the test. You're failing. So look at the question. The question is saying the second character is not a capital letter. This is saying the second character is, so the second character is not A to Z small, which is trying to think. It's not A to Z small. Well, you know why it's failing? Because when we say not A to Z, well, I think that also includes, we are not including like numbers. I don't think we are. Let's see what the test we're actually failing. I think that will give us a better idea of what's going on. Okay, so let's try with this. So we are passing 1A, so that's fine. And then not okay, we are failing A1. A1. So the test is checking this, checking A1. This is just symbolizing the test number. So you can see, okay, 1 is 1A, so this is passing. And then not okay, 2 is A1, we are testing A1. So this is failing. We expected true, but we got false. And then ABC is passing, but ABC is failing. We expected true, but we got false. So let's start with this one. Why is this one failing? A1. A1 should return true, but it's returning false. Has anyone seen why it's failing?
Because the second character is a number, so like I think it's checking for anything that is not a capital letter. That is, it can be any character other than a capital letter.
Yes. That's true. And then this one here, this one is failing. ABC is failing. Why is this one failing? So this one is returning false when we want true, but we're getting false. Has anyone seen why? It's failing because of this. Because what is this saying? Not A to Z, not A to Z. And when you look at the second character in ABC, the second digit is a small letter. And the question was, the second character is not a capital letter. Why is that one failing? A, B, C. We are negating A to Z.
If you say not A to Z in small letters, does it not mean it is now in caps?
No, it doesn't. Don't think so.
Okay.
It means it can be anything other than small A to Z. So that includes numbers.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then dot 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 is also failing. I think we can proceed because tashinda hapa. Let's just have our initial solution, which I think was that. And you guys can look at that in your free time if you want to mess around with it. Okay, so let's go to the next. Someone has something to say.
I think it was failing because of the heart. The heart was also the braces.
Oh,
I've
the
just
heart was.
tested it. I've
Mhm.
tested it with the heart inside the braces and it works like the previous solution, not this one.
Mhm. So we have the heart ndani ya the A to Z.
Yeah.
Small A to Z.
Yeah, small A to Z. Nah, wait.
Still failing. It's failing 2 tests. Yeah, so you can play around with it in your free time.
I don't know what has happened there.
Yeah, you can test it out in when you have some time. But these are very good brain teasers. So let's go to the next one because they are getting more and more challenging. Regex Adventure. We have done this. Done the negated character class. We want to do meta. Okay, let's do meta. Okay, let's go to select 06, 6.js. Let's take the template. Export a function that takes a string argument that returns whether the string ends with a literal dot. Okay. All right, so anybody know how we can solve this? We want to check whether our string ends with a dot, a literal dot. Remember, by default, the dot symbol has a meaning to regex. Simply means match anything. So we need to escape that dot. That's what the question is asking. Any volunteers? Anybody want to try it out? How do we solve that? Remember the dot, the period symbol in regex has a meaning. So ukiweka, put it this way, that's not a dot. You're not matching the literal dot. You're matching anything. You're matching anything at the beginning. Like the first character that it encounters can be anything. But we don't want to match that. We want to match a literal dot.
We put in a backslash before the dot.
Okay. And then we test. Or what do we do next? Let's look at the question. So export a function that takes a string argument and returns whether the string ends with a literal dot. What do we do?
So it's backslash dot. Then you have to put in the
Okay, and then we test, right?
So we have, then we test, then we return. Yeah.
Anybody with a differing opinion on that? Okay, let's check. Tuone kama mambo amepata. So that is solution. That is question 6. Yes. Okay. I think that was pretty straightforward. Hiyo haikuwa na maneno mingi. So let's go to the next one. Go to the, let me just clear this terminal. Regex Adventure, we want not meta, but quantifier. Okay, let's create 07.js. Then let's take the template. Then let's go through the question. Go through the question. So export a function that takes a file name string as an argument and returns whether the entire file name is a sequence of one or more digits followed by .jpg or .jpeg. So here's the template. Obviously, I've already put it there. So when you place a quantifier character after a character or character classes, that character will match a number of times according to the quantifier operator in use. So here are some simple quantifiers. So the asterisk, we looked at this one, 0 or more times. And then the plus sign is 1 or more times. And then the question mark is 0 or 1 times. So what is the question again? Let's go to the question again. Export a function that takes a file name string as an argument and returns whether the entire file name is a sequence of one or more digits followed by .jpg or .jpeg. So to visualize it, the thing we are getting here is a file name, right? Like actually what we have here, like 01.js. But the test is we need to check whether the file name is a sequence of one or more digits. So for example, 1, 2, 3, followed by .jpg, or 4, 5, followed by JPEG. So these two should pass. The entire file name is a sequence of one or more digits followed by .jpg or .jpeg. So, question. Would this match, or just to think about it, or would this match? So we know these two would match because the question is saying the entire file name is a sequence of one or more digits. The entire file name is a sequence of one or more digits followed by this or this. Okay. So would this pass the test? This one. Would this one pass the test? Do you guys think would th.jpg pass the test according to the requirements? Would this one pass?
Not really.
Why would it not pass this one?
Because the file name, the th had like C digits.
Okay.
Similarly to your 3U, 40, your 4OI. I contain like hizo file name zote sio digits, like ni digits na numbers.
So these two would fail. Very good. Okay, so how would we write a pattern to match only patterns that have one or more digits followed by either JPG or JPEG? How would we write that? and we need to use one of these three here. Remember, asterisk, I'll just have a comment here. Asterisk is 0 or more times. The plus is 1 or more times. And then the question mark is 0 or once. So anyone with who thinks they have the solution to this question? What do we start with? How do we start?
I think you can do return then the regex. And then we test for a digit.
What do we write?
The regex like is a forward slash.
Do we use the character classes? Do we use 0 to 9? Which one do you use?
Character class. For like \d.
\d. Okay. And then
you use the plus asterisk to show like one or more times.
So we use plus or asterisk? Which one do we use?
Plus.
Plus.
Yes. And dot, maybe .gpg.
So I write .gpg.
Add another backslash. And .gpg. Yes, then you test.
Okay. Let's test. Let's test that and see. So this is challenge number 7. Okay, we are failing. Are we passing anything? We're passing 2. So we're passing 123.jpg, 123.jpeg. So where are we going wrong? Let's go to the question again. So the entire file name is a sequence of 1 or more digits, which is why we have the last. So it can be 1 or more. It has to be at least 1. And then it can either end with JPG or JPEG. So what do we add here? I think we need to add something here. So we know, right? We know that we need to have digits followed by a little dot. Cindy, that's what we know. We know that we want like a digit, like for example, either just one digit, followed by a dot, and then either JPG or JPEG. Or we can have more than one digit, but it has to be followed by a dot, a literal dot. And then the last part can either be JPG or JPEG. That's the question. So how can we refactor this? So let me now up to that point, I think we have the first part down. We can either have one or more digits, right? That's fine. And then, so we can have 1, 2, 3. So at this point, if you were to give it 1, 2, 3 dot, it would pass. If you were to give it 1 dot, it would pass. If you were to give it 2, 3, 4, 5 dot, it would pass. Right? Those 3 would pass. But the minute you throw a spanner, it would not pass, or it would not pass. So how do we have those passing, those 2 options?
Okay, let me give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
So up after, yeah, just add a pipe. No, just add a JPG.
Mm-hmm.
Then that a pipe, yeah, or then JPEG. And then at the beginning, because we need to start with a digit, I guess at some point hapo mwanzo inafuatwa then that heart sign.
Okay.
Yeah,
Heart
but
sign.
I'm not sure if we will need the square brackets somewhere.
Mm-hmm. With the square brackets, where? Here. But this is already good. So can we try without the caret first and see? Can we remove this and try? Okay. So let's remove that and let's try. So what are we doing? Let's go through the code. Clear this. So we are saying the pattern we want is 1 or more digits followed by a dot, right? And then followed by either JPG or JPEG. Okay, let's test that. That is solution 7. We are failing. We are still just passing the first 2.
I think we can use the question mark after JPG and after JPEG because we are looking whether each can appear at least once or fail to appear at all.
Okay.
So I think that would work.
Even before we do that, let's try Nelson's solution where he said we'd have a caret symbol and then we'll try your solution. So let's try that. Still failing the exact number. Yes, so no difference. Okay, so Evans, umesema tuweke wapi question mark?
After JPG and after JPEG.
After JPG.
Hapo kwenye kuna pipe eka question mark. And after JPEG hapo mwisho.
Hapa. Okay, so what are we doing here?
We are checking if you see there on line 7, you are told it checks if that character or those characters appear either 0 or ones, and you are told that our string should end should the numbers should be followed by a dot, then either JPG or JPEG. So it either appears once or fails to appear at all.
Okay, now I will throw a spanner there. When you put the question mark, remember the question mark is 0 or ones. It means if it does not appear, it will pass. Right? That's what we're saying here. If you don't get JPG, it should still pass because this one is telling it 0 or ones. So that means if you give it 1, 2, 3 dot, it will pass because this is optional. You don't have to have it, and also this is optional. So this would fail because the question is it has to be followed by either JPG or JPEG. So this would fail because this is optional. You're actually telling it this doesn't have to appear, but we know it has to appear. But the difference is you either get JPG or JPEG. That's why this would fail. Don't know whether it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, maybe you're overthinking it. Look at those two things. Look at JPEG and JPG. What is the difference between those two words?
I think we have one letter which is different, like the E in JPEG.
Okay.
So you can have the word JP.
Okay. So how do we write it? Okay, so let me remove this first of all.
So how you rewrite it, JPE,
E,
then a question mark, then G.
So hivyo tu vile iko.
Yes.
Actually, you guys did not tell me I was not testing. Let's first of all try those solutions. How was it passing and I was not testing anything? So let's try your solution here. Let's try JPEG and did I have the test before? Hii ilikuwa kweli ama sikuwa nimeiweka? How was it passing these two? Okay, so now let's try your solution here. The one that Evans was telling us, because we did not even test it. So let's put JPG, JPEG, and let's test CLS. Okay, we are passing some, but we are failing others. Let's try. What else did we have? Don't know whether we were testing. What else do we have? There was the OR, E, JPEG. So we are still failing. Okay. What else did we have? We also had one with a caret here. Still failing. So I think we've now tested zote zenye zilikuwa before. So let's remove this. And then let's use your implementation here, Unis. Let's remove this. And have a question mark here. Let's see whether we have the right answer. So we are still failing. So what are we failing? Okay, we are passing everything except hii hapa. Hii ndio ina fail. So definitely closer to the answer. So what do we need to do? One more thing we need to do. Moja tu. So this is failing because it's matching, it's returning true, and it expected false. But that's because we matched 1, 2, 3 followed by JPG. So this matched, ili match. So that's why it returned true. But this needs to return false because of the extra 2000. So how do we have that here?
I think like the JPG or JPEG should be the last character in that file name.
Okay.
So we add a dollar sign.
Very good, Eunice. Very nice. So is anyone confused as to why this is working here? Because if you look at those two words, the only difference is the E. And the question mark is simply saying the thing doesn't have to appear. And when E doesn't appear, you have JPG, right? But it can also appear once, not more than once. Sindio, the reason this one will fail is because the E has appeared twice. And the question mark is 0 times or once. So this will fail. Hii iko hapa ita fail because the E is appearing more than once, right? And then all the other ones pass because if the E does not appear, it's fine. We have JPG. If the E appears, it has to appear once. So now we have JPEG. And the last bit was it has to appear at the end only. That would now take care of this test case for 2000. Very nice. Anyone with a question? Anyone with a question? Anyone with a query?
Okay, just a question. Like, kama just some little confusion niko nayo. So the heart character, does it perform two functionality ama just one? Negating ama it also checks at the beginning kama a string starts with something?
It depends on where you put it. If you put it ndani ya a character class, like within square brackets, kiweka hivi, if you have this, for example, if you have this and you have the heart here, that's negating. But if you have it outside, that's starting.
Okay.
So it depends on it. Yeah.
Maybe could you just explain why that abcd.jpg is passing? And yet it starts with a, like I expect kama maybe checking if a string starts with a number or a digit, we use something like your brackets hivyo alafu na the heart.
So you're asking why this one is okay here hapa?
No, hiyo number hiyo yenye iko juu yake abc.jpg.
This one?
Yeah.
So it's not, so the test is actually checking whether the response is false. Kwa sababu hii should return false. So the iko green because it's passing. It's returning false for this value. Unashika, it's not, the test is checking whether abc.jpg will return a false value, which it is, because our pattern is asking for only digits. So this is returning a false value, and the test we're looking for is to check whether this returns a false value. So it passes. So it's not like it's not returning a truthy value test, it's returning a false value, which is what the test is checking. The test is checking for this particular instance, the test must return false. And it is, that's why it's passing, because it's returning a false value.
Okay.
Meshika?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Good question. Zimeanza kuingia sasa. You can see like how you can now write very complicated regex. Because now you can see, now this one already looks like gibberish. But you can see like the thinking process, once you have it down, it's very easy to figure it out. Do we have time for one more? We've been able to do quite a few. Can we do one more? Are you guys okay if we do one more? If we try to do one more? You guys are tired, you want to do it on your own? No, Naji. I think I can leave you guys to do the rest since there is no response. So we have passed, and you can see from, okay, the solution is different. right here. They simply said starts with, so the only difference is hapa, but we didn't need to kwa sababu I don't think any of the test cases started with anything other than a number.
That's why I was asking you ABC.
Yeah, but this will fail. So this will return a false value kwa sababu we don't have like multiple digits. We don't have 1, 2, 3, and then like JPG or JPG. This is still fine kwa sababu ita return a false value, which is supposed to. So hata ukiweka hapa carat symbol, it doesn't make a difference because it's going to fail either way because you don't have digits followed by either JPEG or JPG. So bado ita fail too. Either way, it's going to fail the test.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. That's why even this one here, hii iko hapa, this, it's failing, it's returning a false value because we don't have a digit followed by a JPEG. That's why it's also failing here, which is the expected value. So even if you do put, if you want to make your regex more strict, is now when you put there, but bado itakuwa tu same, haita match. It will still give you a false value. So you can try the ones that are remaining because sidhani zimebaki mingi. Let's see zimebaki ngapi.
I'm sorry, Ian. I don't know what happened there. Ian, you're on mute. Sorry about that.
What happened?
Nimeclick hapa kwa
Mute.
kwa nini yako nikapata nimemute. Niko kwa phone so
Haina shida. Yeah, okay. So you guys can try and finish the remaining ones. Hizo zimebaki 7.
naona ingine next hapo inakaa kali.
Just try to do it and see. With whatever tushafanya asifai kusumbua sana. They're very nice brain teasers. Na by the way wakolea sana kwa code. You get instances where you need to use regex. For code, when you're writing your code, sometimes you'll find you want to use regex to do something. So they do help a lot. Anyone with a question before we end? So kesho tutaanza FP sasa. We'll start functional programming. I'll send the list of topics and then you guys can pick what you're comfortable with and then you can present. Okay. So without further ado, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening na tutaonana kesho tukianza FP, functional programming, and have a lovely evening. Bye. Bye.